Hidden for thousands of years in the scorching desert, the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered by accident. But their secrets? Intentional. These ancient manuscripts hold the keys to understanding the past. Yet many of their mysteries remain unsolved. Who were the people who wrote them? Why were they hidden away? And what dark, forgotten truths might these scrolls reveal about the foundations of our faith, history, and humanity? Stick around, this journey is far from ordinary. You're about to uncover secrets that were buried for millennia, but some mysteries may never be fully unlocked. Ready? Let's dive in. The year was 1947, and the world was still recovering from the chaos of World War II. Nations were rebuilding, and tensions between emerging superpowers were rising. But amid this global uncertainty, something far older, something buried for centuries, was about to be uncovered. In the arid, unyielding desert of the Middle East, where the sun scorched the landscape by day and the winds whispered ancient secrets by night, a young Bedouin shepherd named Mohammed Dib was tending his flock. The jagged cliffs overlooking the Dead Sea had stood silent for millennia, hiding a secret that would soon shake the very foundations of religious and historical scholarship. On a fateful day, one of Mohammed's goats wandered off, disappearing into the mouth of a dark cave. Frustrated, the shepherd picked up a stone and hurled it inside, expecting to hear the familiar sound of rock striking rock. But what he heard instead was something entirely different. A hollow clink, the unmistakable sound of pottery shattering. It was a noise that had been waiting to be heard for 2,000 years. Curious, Muhammad ventured into the cave. There, in the dim light, he saw a collection of tall, clay jars. Some were sealed, untouched for ages, while others were broken, their contents partially revealed. Inside, he found scrolls, ancient, brittle parchments covered in mysterious writings. He had no idea what he had stumbled upon, but he knew they were unlike anything he had ever seen before. At first, Muhammad and his fellow Bedouins thought they had found something that could fetch a modest sum. They brought the scrolls to a local antiquities dealer in Bethlehem, who, recognizing their potential value, began searching for buyers. What followed was a complex web of secrecy, negotiations, and missed opportunities. The scrolls passed through several hands. Some were even sold for mere pennies. It wasn't until a scholar named Father Roland de Vaux became involved, and the first true excavations began in 1949, that the world finally started to grasp the magnitude of this discovery. What Muhammad had stumbled upon was nothing less than a time capsule from the ancient world, a collection of texts that had remained hidden since the Second Temple period, containing secrets that could reshape history. The scrolls were found in caves near an ancient settlement known as Qumran, perched on the edge of the Dead Sea. But Qumran was no ordinary village. It was a fortress of knowledge, a stronghold of a mysterious Jewish sect known as the Essenes. These were men who had turned their backs on society, choosing a life of asceticism, discipline, and rigorous study. They sought to live in purity, away from the corruption of Jerusalem's elite priesthood, whom they believed had betrayed the true teachings of God. The Essenes were different from the Pharisees and Sadducees, the two dominant Jewish sects of the time. They believed that a final cosmic battle between good and evil was imminent, and they saw themselves as the sons of light, preparing for the coming war against the sons of darkness. To preserve their sacred texts, laws, prophecies, and apocalyptic visions, they sealed them in jars and hid them in the caves, possibly in anticipation of the Roman invasion that would soon devastate Judea. Over the next decade, more caves were discovered, each one holding fragments of this lost world. Some caves contained well-preserved scrolls still wrapped in linen, while others held only dust and remnants, victims of time and decay. Scholars painstakingly pieced together these fragments, reconstructing entire manuscripts from what seemed like an impossible puzzle. The Dead Sea Scrolls were written on a variety of materials: parchment, papyrus, and even sheets of beaten copper. Some were remarkably intact, while others were in tatters, requiring years of delicate restoration. Their contents? Astonishing. Among them were early copies of the Hebrew Bible, books like Isaiah, Deuteronomy, and Psalms, many of which were almost identical to the versions used today. But then there were others, texts never before seen, accounts of hidden knowledge, lost rituals, apocalyptic prophecies, and cryptic teachings. Some scholars believed these writings contained esoteric wisdom, revealing insights into the end of days. Others speculated that they held secrets about the Messiah, possibly even multiple messianic figures. And then, there was the Copper Scroll. Unlike the others, this was not written on parchment or papyrus. It was hammered into thin sheets of copper, listing what appeared to be a treasure map. It spoke of vast hoards of gold and silver, hidden in locations scattered across the Judean desert. Some believed it was a record of the temple treasury, concealed before the Romans destroyed Jerusalem in 70 CE. Others saw it as something even more mysterious, an encoded message left behind by an ancient secret society. But beyond the content, the scrolls also raised a troubling question. Why had they remained hidden for so long? And why, even after their discovery, were they kept from the public for decades? For years, access to the scrolls was tightly controlled by a select group of scholars. Conspiracy theories began to swirl. Some claimed that the Vatican was suppressing texts that could challenge traditional Christian doctrines. Others whispered that the scrolls contained knowledge too dangerous to be revealed, hidden teachings that could rewrite history itself. Even today, despite advances in technology, there are still many unanswered questions. Are there still undiscovered scrolls hidden deep in the Judean wilderness, waiting to be found? What other ancient truths have been lost to time, buried beneath centuries of sand and secrecy? The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls was not just an archaeological triumph. It was the unsealing of a forgotten world, a world of secret sects, hidden prophecies, and lost knowledge. A world that, even today, refuses to give up all its secrets. But remember, every answer we uncover only leads to more questions. And some of those questions, well, they might never be answered. Are you ready to dig deeper? Because what comes next might just change the way you see everything.